Hi, and welcome to Keep Your Numbers Sane with Number Series. Hi, I'm Eric, and in this video we're going to take a look at number series. It's a concept that has been in dynamics division for ages, yet it can be a bit confusing to work with, to figure out what's what. So I'm going to show you how I approach it. And if I switch over here, you can see that I have created a awesome little app here, the dude list, and I have even added a couple of dudes. And this is all great. We have a number, a name, and a city. We have a list, and we have a card. This is awesome. So when I create another one, I put in a number and I say this is Peter, and Peter is in Toronto, and this is all good. But perhaps I didn't really want to do the numbering myself. So how do we go about that? If we search for numbers, then it's very strange that this is NO dot, where other numbers are numbers, but NO dot, so number series. And the number series construct is pretty clever. So we have a number series, and then within the number series we have lines, and lines are the one that's actually holding the last used number. And if you can see the little thing above my head, allow gaps in number series, that's we had a discussion on Twitter the other day. This is not a reverse do not allow. If you uncheck it, then it will the system will make sure that there's no gaps. That's not what the setting is. This setting is a performance enhancement that's basically saying, okay, I will allow gaps to happen in my number series for the benefit of extra performance, meaning that we are not table locking the same way in here as we do in the rest of the system, and thereby not making the number series lines a bottleneck in high transactional environments. Anyway, so how do we approach, if we want to use this in our little app, how do we approach this? Well, let's go to Visual Studio Code. Here is my little app. As you can see, I created a list and a card and a table. And what we need to do, because we're not going to use the number series directly, so let's say we go to the table here and let's go down here and create a trigger on insert. So what we really want is that on insert, we could say that if our number field is blank, then we will, give it a number. So we could go and var and find the NO series record. That's the NO dot series, and then the number series line, and then figure out how to increment and all that. But that is not the correct way of going about this. Basically, you should never touch these two tables in code, almost. Instead, let's actually go up and look at the objects we have. So there is a code unit called Number Series Management 396, and this code unit is this is weird. Sorry, Microsoft, I have to say this, but this code unit is forgotten. No, I don't know that that's the right word, but it's certainly it could benefit from a bit of a bit of refactoring. There's a lot of stuff going on in here, and sometimes it's hard to figure out what's what and why. Like this function is deprecated. Use the function in the line below instead. Well, we got functionality for handling that now, making stuff obsolete. But everything is also just a procedure, so everything, almost everything is a procedure. There was actually one local there. So what functions to use? There's so much in here, but it actually boils down to just one function, and the function is called get next number. Oops, let me undo what I just did here and do it like this. This function, that's the only thing you should use. We can see that it takes a number series, it takes a date, and do we want to modify it? And then it returns a number. So let's actually implement this first, and then we can look at it. Perhaps if this is a proper little app, so we probably need to add a new table. Let's call that the dude setup, and we do the classic thing with a code 10 as the primary key, and we keep that blank, and then we say number series for dudes. So this is a code 20. We'll finish that one up, and on here we'll do a table relation to number series.code, and let's also create a page for the setup. So dude setup, and this is the dude setup, and this is a card. That's fine, and we only want to put this one in there, and let's add a usage category so we can get to it. And so now we have a card with just one record without exposing the primary key. Back in older versions, not BC, older than that, if you had that and you open it, it would auto go to insert automatically. That is not the case here. If I run this, and then I do the dude setup, there's no dude setup. What did I do wrong? Let's check it out. Application area, there we go. Always remember application area. Let's try it again. Dude setup. There we go. So now we are, if I click edit here, then it's strange, but we need to add a new record for the field to get usable. So what I usually do instead of, because that can be quite confusing, is add a trigger here on open page, and do if empty, then insert. And since we're getting close to reg is mandatory, let's put reg on, something like that. There we go. So if, well, let's do is empty. That's probably better than empty. If empty, then let's go back into that one, the dude setup. And now we have a proper, so now we can, let's create a new one. Here the dude numbers, and Business Central loves numbers that is a combination of letters and digits, which is interesting. If let me go off on a tangent for a second here. So if I have a string, oh, let's not. Oh, we can do that. Like this, number. Then there is a function called increment string that will say, so if number is a something something, then increment string will return a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. And this is basically the core of number series, also the increment string function. So let's go back to this one and say that the I like to use the last used number. So the idea is that a number series, you can have multiple ranges, or you can control it by dates and stuff like that. And we'll allow gaps in our number series because the do table has to be high performance. So as soon as we do this, then it's pure numbers. So if we actually go back to the non-gap, maybe I want to do that, so I have the D in my one. So let's select the dude here. So now we have a setup. So if we go back to our where is that, the dude table here. So now we can, instead of these, because we're not going to use them, so we're going to use our setup record. And so this pattern is interesting. This get will of course fail if there is no setup, and depending on where you are, that might be a bad pattern. So if you're in something like an event subscriber or anything like that, that's no go anymore, because you might not know when your code is getting called or by whom. So but in this case, an unprotected get is fine, because it will just say that there's no setup. I could encapsulate that in a nice error message, but that's probably another video. So now we can say the number, and then we need that code unit. Number series management, that's number series management, so no management here. Sorry, let me do this. Number equal no management, get next number. Let's see what the parameters for that is. So the number series, well, we have that in our setup. The next parameter is a date. So depending on if you have set up that on specific dates, the specific numbers should be assigned. I know places that uses like have a week number at the beginning, or the month at beginning, or something like that, or others are using something else. So depending on how you think the number series behind this will behave, this is typically either today or work date. That will be the parameter for this one. So let's go with work date here. And the last parameter is to modify it, meaning that when we are getting the number, we are also incrementing. We're not just seeing what the next number would be. So that's a one-line statement that will give us a new number. Let's try it out. Oops. That was not the plan. Stop, go away. Nobody was calling me. I think that's just Teams getting confused here. So let's try it out. I do new, and now I exit the number field. Something is working. Let's see, we get a number series arrow. Let's go again. Go, go, go. The number series does not exist. So did we actually do, we never left this record, I think. So that's the, this is, okay, let's actually, let me explain what happened here. I will deploy again. Oh, wow. Let me try again. So Business Central is sometimes not 100% truthful about one specific information. So in this case, the saved thing up here. So if I now select the dude number series, then it says saving. But saving where? Saving that it recognized that you typed in the field, but this is not saved in the database until I actually exit the screen. Now it is. So let's try this one again. So I exit the primary key field and I get a number. So who should we? Gandalf. He's a dude. And I have no idea where he lives, so we'll type Lord of the Rings. I can exit again, I can do a new one, and I tap out of the primary key. So there is a, let me show you one last thing here. So when will the insert happen? That is depending on a setting called delayed insert. Sets a value that specifies whether a user must leave a record before it's inserted into the database. By default, new records are inserted when the user leaves the control that shows the primary key in the table, which is correct, but I think that's a better way of saying it, that as soon, if delayed insert is not turned on, delayed insert is false, then as soon as you place the cursor in a non-primary key field, the record is inserted. In case where you have multiple primary key fields and you switch between them, you're not inserted until you're entering a non-primary key field. So this is very, typically this is never used on cards, but it's often used on lines where otherwise you would get some weird renaming messages, or if you have the order fields from a UI perspective does not make sense compared to the primary key or stuff like that. So in this case, we have one primary key field, and as soon as we exit that, no matter where we go to, if I do a new plus and I go to city, as soon as I enter a non-primary key field, the uninsert is triggered and I get my number. So one more warning that let's go back and take a look at the weird number series code unit. So if I search for page.run modal, you can see that in here there is actually a option for suddenly popping up a UI, and this was added to I can't remember what version of Nav, but when they worked in Denmark to get Nav better suited for smaller companies, they had a special version called C5, and the idea was that instead of just saying you're missing a number series, then when you got to that point, pop-up dialog, oh, select the number series for this, and then it will continue posting or continue whatever it will. The problem is that there is still plenty of places in the application where it will grab a number from a number series, but it's not really prepared for you to pop up a page in the middle of a ongoing database transaction. So instead of getting the nice dialog, you'll get a big ugly message saying that page.run modal and codeunit.run and XML port.run is not allowed in an active write transaction. A huge message. And 9 out of 10 times you get that message. It's just because it's trying to do this guy, and it's simply not allowed where you are right now. Kind of sloppy, but hopefully it'll get fixed at some point. Anyway, again, going back to the core of the matter here. This is the only function I use. Get next number from the number series management. And that works well for all my number series requirements. I think that's it for this video. I hope you can use it. If you like stuff like this, then let me know in the comments below. If there's something else that you would like me to show and explain, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. And until next time, have a wonderful day.